Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Cool. Hey, we'll get started. So,
Okay, that's really good. Yours tastes good. Your size what? Well, yours tastes better than mine. Must be bigger than yours.
thank you. Good. Thank you. Thanks for self-organising, girls. Well done. Rather than me yelling and screaming, so that's going to be the thing. So, first of all, thank you for making the time. Sorry I couldn't organise seats in there. We couldn't break in, so we tried. So we're stuck in the cold. First of all, just recording, so I'm going to use that for the other coaches, so they're wondering what the team meeting might look like, what you might cover, so it's just to help the other coaches, so I'll get to some of those things a bit later. So first of all, well done to the girls who have either made the team or have been invited for train on, so congratulations, and I think again thank you for the parents for giving the kids the opportunity, because lots of running around and already soccer season started, and so that requires a bit of commitment from the parents, and that's not always possible, so you guys are pretty lucky, yeah, so do continue to thank your parents. From the manager's assistant, so Chris has put up her hand as manager, thank you very much, so very prompt, and Mara has been assistant, and Matt's also put his hand up as manager, so thank you both, and Mara's been at it all season with me and got me to doing 3 sessions. I was happy to do 2 sessions, she goes, no, I'm going to go 3, and I said, oh, okay, alright, so driving me hard, so thank you Mara and Matt and Chris for helping out. Cool. All right. So the some of the things I wanted to cover. So one is part of the camera is because I'm fundamentally coaching, although Mara will probably do a lot more coaching than the assistants did last year in the under 12, as I try and do more of my technical director role and get more involved. But part of me wanting to coach a team is test lots of things out, and so you'll see that all year. And part of that is really this camera, because we're using it for the rest of the club, right? So, so that's one thing to work at, and we'll make some mistakes together. And the girls who've been with me before, I ask for feedback, and then I go, okay, well, your ideas are better, and we run with it, right? So there's lots of learning going on, and so that's something we'll embrace, right? So thank you for letting us record this meeting. So the high expectations. So Glen Eira and then the girls program have high expectations, but I guess part of you being the so-called rebranded girls development school, there's only 2, and I being also involved in it is really to set the example here for other teams to follow, and it's probably no different to other Glen Eira teams also setting the example that we want for others to go and go, oh look, they play well, or the coaches behave well, or the parents behave well, and and be a leader in there. So there's a high expectations from you girls, but and part of that is the parents element. I'll come to as well. And if you're not clear what I'm saying, because I'm talking too fast, just slow down. I've had people say, slow down, John. I said, there, thank you, because I can talk quickly and maybe have a slight accent in there as well. So we had the trials, for the ones who, I think most of you had trials, I think, that we embrace this idea of fluidity. So part of that we've already started with some of the girls from the under 11s and under 12Bs training with us to give the fluidity in that aspect. So that's important, but that also, which we, there may be moments, and it's happened last year for some of the girls who are already in this, without naming, who are in the under 12s, we sometimes ask for the girls to train and play down if we think that's better collectively, and priority around the girl for their development. So if we're playing boys and it's harder, you don't get much time on the ball because you need more, we might say, look, why don't you play down and have some time. So that might happen, and that's not necessarily good or bad. It's it's just part of where we think maybe there's at least for a while for yourself. So just a bit of heads up on that, right? All right. So as far as some of the let's say the expectations are. So actually, before I do, who has little tests? It doesn't matter if you fail. Plenty of tests along the way. Has anyone seen any packs? Who's seen any PowerPoint packs? Did any parents share any packs like this? You do? Which one? Which one have you seen? Okay, who's seen some packs? Something? Maybe? No, I'm not sure. All right. So what have you seen so far? Okay, what? Okay, What's one thing you picked up? Have you seen that? Where am I working out? You don't know that? That's fine. Good, all right, get a point. Thank you, Dad. All right, he was pretty happy. No, I don't expect that. It's a fair bit of detail. It's not really typically for parents. It's more for my assistants as well as the other coaches, right? But because you guys are in the forefront of this learning process, I've shared it for you guys as well, right? So in both of those packs, I talk about how I see our relationship, the three-way relationship between, I guess, me, a combination of the coach and the TD, as well as the other coaches and players. So for me, I look at it as a school environment, right? It's a football school, so fundamentally, for me, as a coach here, I'm the teacher, so that's the role I play. Obviously, these guys are players and students, and then the parents, you're no different to parents in the school environment. And then in the training, I say that's our classroom. We're training, we're practicing, so as a parent, you don't wander into the classroom and have a chat. Just wait for the class to finish, and we'll set up a time we can chat. And then and the game, I say that's like a concert, right? So we're performing. We've been practicing all week. Both teams are performing, and as parents, you can sit. I'd encourage you to sit down or stand up and cheer for both parties. But what I don't want, looking at every one of you one by one slowly, don't do my job. Yep, I won't be too impressed, because we will be on the bench, and one of us at a time, because if both of us are screaming, I think she'll tell me, John, I'll let me do the talking, or vice versa, right? So we'll be disciplined, and where possible, we'll be sitting down most games and standing up unless we want to give some specific instructions, right? That's our ambition. We also have our deficiencies that we're developing. So from a parents don't coach, I haven't had to use this at Glen Eira, but I've done it elsewhere. Embarrassingly, or not embarrassingly, but I started at South Melbourne, where I've said to the parents, after parents going on, if I continue to get a parent on the sideline coaching the kids, saying pass it or do this or tackle or whatever, we may not be doing that. We might be telling them not to pass it, for example. I'll probably give you another warning, and then I'll sit the girl off that game, right? I'm pretty strict on that. I'll say she's not playing, and yeah, I'll take a hard line on that, and that's part of for them, because there's a teacher, not instruction, but also us leading as an example for the other teams who are looking at us, because I'm preaching this thing, and if my parents or or my players aren't doing what we're preaching, then that's a bit, we're not walking the talk. So that's really important that we set the example, and fundamentally my team sets the example, right? So hopefully that's a really important point about this parent, about your role and how you can help, right? So any questions on that? Clear, Google? So yeah, appreciate that. All right, so let me do other elements.
Just on that.
Yes, of course.
There are aspects that you guys are, I guess, focusing on, etc. So
yes,
it'd be good to know what you're focusing on, so that we can also then provide.
Damien, do you want to talk about what we're focusing on?
Do you understand what it was?
No, so it's in the pack, is what I meant. Yeah, so that's part of sharing it. For the ones who are keen, so other parents are going, we trust you, just do whatever you want, I'm going to sit on the car or on the bench and just let you play. Other parents, like when I was at your stage of my development, I'm like, what are they doing? Can I help? I want to learn. What are they really doing that for? And so some want to know more. And so there's a fair bit there, although it's a tip of the iceberg of what we can do, but we don't want to do too much at this stage, right? So if we can get the basics. So there's two packs that you've got. One is me telling at a very high level to other coaches who are really starting what we're about, and so hopefully the aim is when they look at a Glen Eira girls team, they go, oh, they play this way. For one, the parents aren't yelling and screaming, the coaches aren't yelling and screaming, the girls aren't booting the ball. Even those basic ones they go. There's something for the trained eye. There's some similarity they're trying to play, right? So and we need to set the example as our coach, right? Yeah, but there's a fair bit here. There's a fair bit here, right? Yeah, and if I can embrace 40 to 60% of that into the team, which we'll work on starting today. There's a certain way, and hopefully we look at the document and see us training how you're playing and what instruction we're giving. Hopefully they correlate, right? So that's the idea, and that's why for the ones who are really keen, they might read it and go, oh, that's what John, you know, and they'll increase their speed. So, but thank you for the question. Yeah. So and then maybe print it out, or if they're electronic, send it to them, and if they're interested, they look at it. If they're not, we'll teach them on the job here, right? Yeah. So cool. I was going to ask Damien, put him on the spot. Since he's printed it out, he's going to. Here it is. Yeah. Section 4.8.3. Yeah. Yeah. So cool. All right. Thank you. Yeah, and then if you want to, while we're training, you can look at it. Look at it as well. Yeah, if you have just, and then you can ask them questions after training. Cool. Probably better. Okay, so it's all about development here. I'll talk about tournaments in a minute, but it's all about development, right? So I really don't, and Mara will support me. I really don't want to be talking about the results. Either we win 10-0 or 20-0. I want to be able to say, oh, I like the way you did this, or maybe you can improve on this. What do you think? You know, those ideas. So I really don't want to talk. And it's almost weirdly a badge of honor. But the under-12 girls team last year that we coached, and there's one here, two others, I think, on this one, yeah, is as a girls team, we didn't win one game in the competition, right? And for me, weirdly, it's a badge of honor because I am proud to say that, I don't know, maybe Alice can tell me John is all rubbish, but even though they got beaten, that was never a discussion, and I don't think there was ever that moment of, oh, we're getting beaten, right? It's about focusing on their development elements. Having said that, when they played, because we were playing boys, when they played the girls, they didn't lose against a community club, right? So it's quite so although we did lose some games against the NPL team, right? Maybe 3 or 4. Cool, all right. Yeah, the other one that I'm big on as a parent as well about life skills. So a lot of, I don't know, there'll be elements in there about resilience and grit and hard work and teamwork and, you know, not getting stuck in each other and helping out. So there for me is as it's probably more important than football, because the reality is in Victoria from over the last probably 10 years, there's probably, you know, maybe a handful, if not probably only one, Steph Catley, who was around here making a decent living out of playing football, right? Whereas most of, as a parent, most of my kids' development has been to mature as a person, right? And so I think that's where we're going to make the biggest difference. That's where a lot of energy we'll put in. Cool, all right. So there'll be plenty of failure, and that's a good thing. Because I tell the girls, it's failure good? Yes, because we're pushing ourselves, right? So we're going to do that. And then there's also lots of tournaments and so forth. So again, there's options, lots of options. So don't feel necessarily all this pressure, because I'll just keep throwing stuff. There's girls, you know, we've got a whole bunch of tournaments. We've got girls doing FTS, EFF, and then there's other stuff, netball and ballet and gymnastics and everything, right? There's lots of options. So it's about, and I need to, as much as I want to play football all the time, I'm maturing to say, it's not all about football, right? There's a world, they're going to experience different things, so don't feel bad saying no because I can't for training, because I've got other clashes or tournaments or games and so forth, right? And luckily for a club, we've got enough size to generally manage it. Although, I didn't thank Lindy. I thank everyone. Lindy is, I don't know, most of you probably know her. If not, she's a girls operation manager looking after all the girls team. You know, yeah, with the help, but so big thank you, Lindy. She's been super busy when everyone else is away from soccer, and maybe 3 or 4 hours a day, probably more on these things, feels like, so more. So thank you, Lindy. Yeah. So, but yeah, about numbers, she's the one who's usually juggling numbers within teams, so that's why Lindy's usually on the case. With help of, in our case this year, Nola is our age coordinator as well. So between them and the managers, helping the numbers and fluidity and so forth, right? Cool. One thing I'll talk about is as already the email that came out, I think from Lindy or Nola, about practice at home, because that's where you're going to improve the most. And we also have got this park football where you just play and so forth, right? So the contact with us is pretty limited, right? The reality of cool. And then as far as some of my deficiencies, just so you know, I'm not too chatty with the parents, really. If the ones in park I end up wanting to play or hang out and develop these, so don't feel I'm being rude to you, that's just part of me. And the other thing I'm really bad at is remembering names, and especially parents' names. It'll take me a while to get them, so luckily I've got a school teacher in here who can help me, so thanks Mara. So yeah, so don't feel too bad. That's just me. We all have to, and also I'm pretty, and for the guys who play park football, when I'm playing, personality is pretty demanding, and my kids tell me that. So it's nothing personal, it's just me trying to push you guys. So just part of it is I have a bit of thick skin and go, okay, John's he's just trying to help me. It's nothing personal. So the other bit. So that's all I wanted to discuss. Get a quick skim. Any questions from the girls first? Any questions you guys want to ask? All clear? Want to memorize that document and then you can coach yourselves. Oh, the other thing we'll do, as part of this live, lots of empowering. So we'll try and get at least one of the games. They'll coach themselves, like we did last year. Alice, it was good or not good? Comment? Huh? Good. All right. Yeah. So the coaches go there. They'll do some training by themselves. They will. The last few years, this is my third year. They select where they are. They select where they play, where they rotate. So I go, look, I don't really care what position, because from a development point of view, it's not about winning. So we try and get them to play all positions in each game, and they decide and try and empower them, right? So there'll be a lot of that opportunity for them to grow, and I'll demand that of them, right? So cool. All right. Any questions, you girls? Coming back? No? Any questions? Good. All right.
I'm cold though.
Let's go. All right. Thank you, parents. Thank you very much. All right. Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
I'm getting my dad.